Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I want to talk about my experience as a trainer at one of these large mega carriers. Okay, they will let people in there, as I found out once I got there, with 6 months of driving experience and they're a trainer. That means people that started driving in the spring are a trainer in the fall and they've never been in the snow. And I always complained about that, and my friend said, well, why don't you go work there and you could be a trainer? I said, all right, I will. And so I went in there and became a trainer, which was easy enough. It's like a 10 questionnaire. That was it. And immediately, as soon as you get a student, bingo, 1,000 miles overnight. Right away. Guys right out of truck school. I thought, holy crap, no way. So I had to argue with them about that. Their policy was even that you didn't do that you had to go at least a week with the student, driving while you were in the passenger seat. And so we went through a few students, and I finally got this guy. I got him, and then we went to go pick a load up, and I said, let's go look at the bills. Right, I would go in there because the trainers, all they do, they put the student in there, they just use them to drive at night. The trainers drive during the day, students drive all night. Okay, that's all they're being used for, to double the pay of the trainer and to increase the pay of the company. So anyhow, I get this guy, and we go and look at the paperwork, and lo and behold, I go, is this hazmat or what? He goes, I don't know. If I come to find out he can't read, he goes, I can't read. I said, what do you mean you can't read? He said, I can't read. I just can't read. My wife does all the paperwork at home. I said, well, how did you pass your CDL test? Well, this mega carrier, right, they have their own truck school, and then they are allowed by the state to give the CDL test. And he said everybody takes the test in a big group, and they just take the test together, so he passed it that way, no problem. So I went back to dispatch there. I go, hey, this guy can't be here. He can't read the bills. He can't TV his hazmat. He can't read a map or anything. They said, look, we don't care. You train him or we'll get somebody to train him. I said, well, that's enough for me. You take him out of my truck and I'm done training. They go, fine, whatever. You can go be a solo driver. And so I ended up quitting right after that because that's ridiculous. And that's how these mega carriers are. They are not training students. And if you're a student watching this right now, watching this, and your trainer, ask him, turn to him and say, how much experience do you have? If he has 6-8 months experience, that's no trainer. Okay, that's just some guy who's just driving a car in this, a few months ago. No way. You should need 5 years experience to be a trainer. 5 years minimum, all over the country, all kinds of weather conditions. Of this 6 month, that's crap. And what has happened is we're getting students out here that don't know what they're doing, and it isn't really their fault. They're not being trained properly. But these carriers, they don't care. They just bring people in. They just get the money from the government, the kickbacks, and they pay the trainer double, so they're all fat and happy, right? And that's it. And the student quits, and then they complain there's a trucking shortage, and so the government will give them even more kickbacks. The shortage is because they don't train people, and it's come out here, and they're very frustrated then, trying to do their job when they haven't been trained properly, and it isn't right to do to people. And those companies should all be ashamed of themselves. Right now, they know who they are, and they should be very ashamed of themselves. I'm sure they're not. They don't care. But we need to change that. That's something that in the industry that needs to change. You should have to have experience to be a trainer. 6 months, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous! All right, let me know what you think about that, and this has been Trucking Answers.